So I started looking and looking. I stayed up half the night just looking and looking and looking from frame to frame to frame to frame until I saw Sunday. The kids were outside playing. She picked them up. I could hear her tell Gannon, Gannon, you get on this side, Lamb, you get on the other side. And they drove away, and I watched them. They came back. He got out of the car. He took off running to the house. And so that Monday I saw him. I saw her walk to the truck, back up. And then I saw Gannon come out the house, and I was like, man, he doesn't look right. He doesn't like he did Sunday, because Sunday he was running and playing. And he looked like he was struggling. Like I said, like he was drugged or something, because he just could barely move. He got in the truck. They left. So I just kind of went through the videos to see what time they came back. So when they came back, I saw she get out of the truck. I could hear her lock the door when she got out of the truck, and I could hear the garage door opening. So she got out, she locked the truck, and went in the house.
That was Roderick Drayton. He was a neighbor of the Stauch family and has spoken about what his surveillance cameras caught once 11-year-old Gannon Stauch was reported missing and then later found dead. Gannon's stepmother, Letecia Stauch, is charged with his murder and has pled not guilty by reason of insanity. Court TV lead anchor Benny Politan has more on this case.
It begins with a 911 call at 6:55 p.m. on Monday, January 27th. Letecia told the operator Gannon was supposed to come home from a friend's house an hour ago, and she was unable to locate him. At the time, Gannon's father was out of town on reserve duty. A missing person investigation was opened up, and a community began to search for a little boy.
This was a kid that was very frequent out front, being very, being a kid, very playful, very funny.
Whatever we could do just to, show them that we're thinking of them and, they're in our thoughts and prayers.
As the investigation continued, police began to question Letecia's story. They examined phone records, GPS records, home security system records, and a surveillance video from a neighbor's home.
Neighbor Roderick Drayton gave investigators his home surveillance video showing Gannon leaving with his stepmother, then returning without him on the day the child disappeared. He says he searched the video after seeing the stepmother interviewed.
It just didn't seem right the way she was talking.
Okay.
If my child is missing, I'm going to face the camera and talk to you. Let you see the pain in my face.
In court, prosecutors spoke about the vast amount of evidence gathered during the investigation.
The last number that I heard was over 107 search warrants in this case. Yes, 107. 107. I think that number is bigger than that number, though, just based on that was last week sometime that I heard that.
These 107 search warrants uncovered a lot, including blood stains on Gannon's mattress, blood spatter on this electrical socket next to his bed, evidence of blood in the garage and near the bumper of Letecia's Volkswagen. Many of these blood samples were directly linked to Gannon's DNA. All this, enough to arrest Letecia, who was no longer in Colorado where Gannon went missing. Letecia was arrested on March 2nd in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Then, on March 20th, a huge development.
Now to breaking news at 5. It is believed that 11-year-old Gannon Stauch's remains have been found.
Gannon's remains were found not in Colorado, not in South Carolina, but in Florida, 15 miles north of Pensacola, near the Escambia River Bridge in a town called Pace.
Today I filed new formal charges in the case against Letecia Stauch. Those charges are murder in the first degree after deliberation, a Class 1 felony that carries a potential prison sentence of life in prison without parole. In addition to that, I've filed 8 counts of crime of violence for the alleged use of a firearm, a blunt instrument, a knife or other sharp object, and for causing the death of Gannon Stauch.
Letecia Stauch is presumed innocent, and according to the arrest affidavit, she has a story. She told investigators Gannon was abducted by a Hispanic man named Edgardo, who took Gannon at gunpoint after sexually assaulting Letecia inside the family's home. That's a story investigators don't believe, but the question is, will Letecia tell that story to a jury, and will a jury believe it? Or will they deliver the justice Gannon's family is looking for?
Still with us, criminal defense attorneys Renee Hill, Carmen Rowe, and Molly Palmer. Carmen, each state has different rules and regulations and avenues for an insanity plea, but no matter where you are, it's a tough road to climb, is it not, to come out of this successful in a case like this?
Ted, there's no question. And the biggest problem with this defendant, and she said she maybe doesn't want a jury trial because she can't get a fair trial in this case. Well, that's because she came out begging everyone to help find this little boy from the very beginning. Well, if you're asserting an affirmative defense like insanity, you're admitting that you caused this horrible death to occur with a gun, blunt force trauma, and at least 18 sharp object intrusions into this little boy. So she has a tough road ahead on this case.
Molly, what do you expect from the defense? What are their options?
I mean, they're going to have to rely really heavily on expert testimony, and then the state is going to counter that expert testimony with testimony of their own. But, Carmen is exactly right. The facts of this case are difficult for a number of reasons to put forth this not guilty by reason of insanity defense. So in Colorado, they use the McNaughton test, and basically you have to prove to be found not guilty by reason of insanity that you were acting under a mental defect, a disorder of the mind at the time, such that you couldn't tell the difference between right or wrong. And so typically in those situations, when somebody truly cannot tell the difference between right or wrong, they're not doing a lot of calculated moves to cover up their tracks or, hide evidence or make a plea to the public that they need help or accuse somebody else of doing it. And so for me, the facts here are difficult, and the defense is going to have to turn to a doctor of some kind to tell the jury that no, she was psychotic and all of that was the result of her psychoses.
Renee, your thoughts on what we're going to see here at trial?
Listen, it's going to be an extremely difficult road for the defense. They are putting forth now that, there's this high likelihood of this woman having a psychosis, and that's why they have the experts examining her. But again, like Molly and Carmen have said, this is not something that they came out the gate